Welcome to the game. Wizards, towers, also good for wandering. Cards of movement, Raven's Keep, completely empty, and spells for days. This is Wandering Towers. Today we're going to be talking about Wandering Towers, a game where you wander around towers and trap wizards and basically prove why architecture is not meant to be done with magic. In Wandering Towers, you play a wizard trying to get all of your apprentices back to Raven's Keep before anybody else. Now, that might sound easy, but you're wrong! Now, before I tell you why you're wrong... Oh, I bet. Now, before I tell you why you're wrong, I'm going to explain why the game is pretty simple to begin with. First off, in this game, you will start with 3 cards in hand. This will be your maximum hand size. You will always have 3 cards in your hands until you play your cards. When you play cards, you choose 2 cards to play. Now, there are cards with just a tower, just a wizard, and a tower and a wizard. When you play 2 cards, obviously with the wizard and just the tower, you can only move said wizard or tower. Now, if there's 2, you get to choose if you want to use the wizard side or the tower side. Now, a very important thing about movement is that if you notice, there's these Raven logos throughout the entire game. Whenever your character moves past those, so say if I use this one, he moves 4. If I wanted to stop at one of these, I can choose to do that because the Raven symbol's on them. Same goes if they're actually on the floor. So that is an important part of the game because it can help you kind of strategize, because to get inside Raven's Keep, you have to get the identical number of movement to actually get inside. Now, the other part about this game is covering wizards. So if I'm the yellow player and I wanted to gain my potions, which will allow me to use these spells, 2 spell potions will allow me to move my wizard 1, or 1 spell potion will let me move a tower twice, which will help you again reposition the board into any which way you like. Now, to actually move towers, when I play the tower one, I will choose a tower regardless of where it is, and I will move it that many spaces. So I can move it 2 spaces if I can get it on 2 spaces. Now, this is important. Whenever I cover an opponent's wizard, and not just one of my own, at least if one of my opponent's wizards are under that tower that I place, I get to flip this potion bottle, which to win the game, you do have to get not only all of your wizards into Raven's Keep, but all of your potion bottles filled. So it encourages you from actually covering your wizards. Now, the game is, again, simple, but there are some things that make it a little bit complex. One of the biggest things is the fact that when you move towers, you always move it to the top part of the tower that you're stacking on top of. Now, when you choose to move a tower, you can choose to move any level, but you have to move that level and all the levels above it. So if I want to move these 2, I can absolutely do that. And then if I want to move these 3, I can absolutely do that. Now, what's important about this game is the fact that your wizards can definitely get lost. And that's kind of what makes this game a little bit unique, is the fact that you can even add some bluffing into it. There's many times where I've told other players, oh yeah, no, your piece is definitely right there, so you might want to move the entire stack. And they might just believe you, and then they'll move the entire stack. When my piece is either on top or within the tower, and they might not even know that. So they're actually helping me out by progressing the entire tower, so it's easier for me to get my pieces into Raven's Keep. It's a little evil, but that's what makes the game fun. Now, the thing is, you always want to make sure that when you have your minis that you don't want them covered, because you do kind of want to know where they are. Because in this game, it is pretty easy to actually just get lost with all of your miniatures, with the fact that towers can just move around all the time. And again, you're not the only person who's going to be moving them, so they can definitely just get lost just by anybody moving your towers. And I think that's an important thing to know, because where did he go? Where's my little blue guy? I'd like to dedicate the rest of this video to little blue. May he rest in peace, for he was never found. Little Blue! Now, it's an important thing to note that Raven's Keep is not actually considered a tower. So when you do have the ability to move towers, you never move Raven's Keep. In fact, the only way you can move Raven's Keep is if you have a spell that specifically does that. These aren't the only spells in the game. There are a lot of different spells. But whenever you start the game, it's going to recommend these two spells. And for the video, I'm just going to use them. The other spells do change the game up a little bit by allowing, instead of like moving forward, you can pull your wizard back one, or instead of moving your tower forward two, you can move a tower back twice. Besides that, there's just a bunch of different random ones, and as much as I want to devolve into that, I'm just going to stick with the base practice stuff for the video. Now, I will admit, when it comes to Raven's Keep, though, it is a movable spot. It will be able to move. Now, how it moves is whenever you get one of your little miniatures of your wizard put into Raven's Keep, it will move clockwise until it meets a uncovered on the ground Raven symbol. Now, when it moves there, it just stays there until another wizard goes into Raven's Keep, and then that continues, and you will keep going round and round as long as those are uncovered, because there is one right here, which means that it would go there if these towers weren't there. And the Raven symbols on the towers themselves don't count. It's only all the ones on the floor. Now, the reason why this is cool is because it allows you to actually have a setup to, say, if you have a wizard right here, and you move this wizard into here, this goes all the way, because now this is covered and that's covered, it goes all the way right here. So if I had the ability to move this wizard 5 spaces, I could just move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it would move forward. There's plays like that happen all the time, and most of the time they are used with the potion abilities, but they still happen. And it is important to kind of know that, because again, it adds strategy to the game. And that's important for a game like this. It's meant to look simple and be simple, but it's actually pretty complex when you get into all the extra stuff you can do, especially when it comes to the knowledge of what's in Raven's Keep. You are never allowed to look inside of Raven's Keep. That is an important part of the game. Everything information-wise is hidden. So there's a lot of times where you can even tell people that you only have 1 or 2 of your wizards in there, and you're not even close to winning, when in reality you have either all but 1 or all of them in there, which I've done many times. It is probably my favorite strategy. Never tell people how many wizards you have in Raven's Keep. The only way you know that I have wizards basically all in Raven's Keep is when you start seeing me fill up potions, because I use them all the time, because it helps getting your wizards in Raven's Keep. So it's a good strategy, but maybe not necessarily like the best strategy. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, and it's one of those board games that I always show to people who aren't really into board games or very new to the hobby, because it's one of the few board games that kind of prevent people from having to look away or get distracted, because of the fact that the towers move all the time, and it can get pretty hectic, especially if you play with 6 people. Granted, there's less wizards on the field for everybody and less potions, but there's more players, there's more turns where people are moving a bunch of things. And so looking away for even 1 or 2 people's turns will completely ruin your strategy in the game. And I kind of have to love it for that, because again, when you play a board game, you want people to be involved and engaged. And this game is perfect at doing that. I mean, everything is moving. And when you are playing, you're having to strategize each turn that is somebody else's turn, because if you don't have any of your pieces affected, then you can actually make a play. But sometimes somebody who is right before you moves your piece just completely across the board, and then you have to react to that. And that's what the game is just kind of reacting and trying to figure out that like little puzzle of how I'm going to get my piece from one end of the map to the other and then into Raven's Keep. And that's just kind of an enjoyable experience. The theme of this game is amazing. I mean, it's fantasy, but most importantly, wizards. So if you're a fan of Harry Potter, I mean, this should be an instant sell to you. But most importantly, it's just how the game functions, how it works. The colors are really nice. I think the art is way too well done. The cards, I mean, the backs of the cards are the books, the fronts are the pages. I mean, the potions, you flip them to fill them, and you have 1.5 billion spells, it feels like, that you can utilize, or at least 1.5 billion combinations of the spells. In fact, you can even play the game with all the available spells, which is like 12, 13, even more maybe with the expansions. It's a lot, but you can overcomplicate this game for people who want a very complex strategic way of play, and you can just keep the game simple with just these two. And again, these are what's recommended for practice. So I usually will play this because I'm always teaching new people this game. And every single time I teach somebody this game, they absolutely love it. And I've accidentally sold this game to many people just because they enjoyed playing it because of me, and they just want to own it themselves. And I think that's kind of important, is just helping board games kind of grow. I think with D&D and stuff, as we increase the liking of that media, we can also try to focus on this media as well, because board games are important. But to get back to this game specifically, it's just a great game. If you like fantasy, if you like board games, or you're just trying to get into board games, or you just want to just play something really fun with your family, or maybe you might have this for like a date night or something, it's a really good game. It plays well from 2 players. It plays well from 6 players. I played the solo mode before, and that's even fun. So my biggest recommendation is just buy this game. It's an easy sell, in my opinion. And regardless of if you are new to board games or you are a very experienced board game player, this is just a good board game to have. I've played this with children of ages of 6, and they've understood the game and play it well. But I've played it with also people above the age of 60, and they also enjoy the game and play it well. So regardless, I just recommend just picking it up. Play the board game. It's fun to just move all these pieces around. It's fun to cover your friends' pieces and ruin their plans. The game is more akin to like a knife fight. You're more of just reacting to everything rather than being able to just strategize a certain plan. And that's the cool part about it. It's helping you learn to adapt, and I think that's just really cool. So, I mean, that's it, really. I mean, just buy it or play it or find a way to play it. But besides that, that's all I got. Bye. Thank you for watching my video, by the way. I mean, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, you should probably like or subscribe. But that's if you felt like you really had a good time with it. I think when I made my first video, I definitely didn't realize I would get more than 10 views, and I actually got 100, or over 100. So I'm very happy about that, actually. It gave me this like instant gratification that I was doing something correct. And I love board games, so being able to kind of succeed at something that I just inherently love is just a good thing. But when I found this game, it was my first year going to Gen Con ever. And if you don't know what Gen Con is, it's the biggest board game convention, or maybe even one of the biggest conventions ever. But when I saw this game, I didn't know anything about it. I just saw what it was, just this game where there's just all these towers. And I was so intrigued. I literally walked up to the booth and I just told the guy, like, hey, I want to buy this game. And he just looked at me weird and was like, okay. But to him, it's a sale. For me, it's an experience. It's an experience I've shared with many people. And that's, again, just why I love board games. I enjoy being able to share those experiences with people and just to have that. And I think when I bought this game, I set it up and I decided to, get everything ready and basically be as ready as I could to teach my friends this game. Because, I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed this game. It's a very fun game. And I don't think I could ever kind of forget any experience I've had with this game. But I think that's kind of like important to kind of realize and figure out is, if you like board games, or if you want to get in board games, just go into a board game shop, find something that looks cool, and just buy it. I think if there's like anything, I just believe that trying something that you haven't done before is a very good thing to have. And not many people try a lot of board games, and that's perfectly fine. I don't think everybody has to play board games to have a great time. But since you're watching this video, I assume you have some interest. But I would always recommend just always finding something that you enjoy. And I mean, I like Wizards, and the towers aspect of this game is really cool. But just the next time you're out and about and you see a board game store, maybe you've never been there before, maybe you've been there a couple times, maybe you're there all the time, who knows. But I think you should go and just look around and just find a cool board game and just that it just looks awesome to you, and just buy it and try it and just play it and tell people they need to play it because it's very fun and you enjoy playing it. And I mean, it could just be the next thing that either reignites your friendship with somebody or brings your friend group closer together. And that's why I love board games. You can just pick something up and I mean, you'll never know what you're going to find.